As you have well figured out today, today is Constitution Day. Throughout today, you have been receiving little snippets of the Constitution in your classes. Hopefully, you've been filling out your sheets because those As you have well figured out, today is Constitution Day. Throughout the day, you have been receiving little snippets of the Constitution throughout your classes. Hopefully, you've been filling out your sheet because that could become crucial before the end of the day. The Constitution of the United States of America is the single document that sets the rules for how our government is run and the rights that we have as citizens of the United States. This much you should already know. But let's dig a little bit deeper. First, the Constitution wasn't the first go-around when it comes to governing our nation. The Articles of Confederation actually came first. However, they were not very effective in governing the nation because they didn't give our federal government enough powers, and they weren't as broad-reaching as the Constitution. So, in 1789, it was decided that we needed to fix the Articles. What happened instead was that the Constitutional Congress decided to rewrite them all together. And what they came up with is what we now know as the Constitution. The preamble is pretty famous. Most of your teachers had to memorize the preamble of the Constitution when they were in school. Don't you feel lucky that you don't have to? It introduces the document and gives it context as to what is in it and why it was written. Next comes the Articles. The Articles are the meat and bones of the U.S. government. This is how democracy is laid out on the pages of the U.S. Constitution. Have you ever heard of Congress? I bet you have. I bet you've seen a commercial or two that is campaigning for somebody other than the president. Those are usually your Congress people. Did you know that there are 2 senators per state? Why is that? Article 1 of the Constitution is why. It says that every state gets 2, no matter what, whether you're the biggest state in the union or the smallest state. Likewise, each state gets so many representatives. That's dependent on your population. Iowa right now has 4. We used to have 7. That means we've lost population compared to the rest of the country. California has over 50. There's some states that only have 1 representative. It's because they don't have very much in regards to population. We have 2 houses of Congress. It's set up that way so that each state gets its opportunity to have equal representation, and the bigger states also get an opportunity to represent themselves since they have more people to be represented. Did you also know that you have to be 35 years old to be president? Yeah, that's in Article 2 of the Constitution. It holds that rule and many others about what the president can and can't do and how we pick them and all the other cool stuff about the president. There are many other examples of things that you hear about every single day that are directly related to the Constitution. Like your rights. I bet you've seen free speech in action. Do you know where it comes from? The last section of the Constitution, known as the Amendments. Free speech actually comes from the First Amendment. The first 10 amendments are known as the Bill of Rights. They were included in the original Constitution. The Founding Fathers agreed that the rights of the people should be included in this document. However, there are more than just 10 amendments. In fact, there's 27 of them now. Why? Well, have you ever done an assignment or built something and decided that it needs to be changed, even just slightly? That's what amendments are, small changes to a document. Other amendments include the banning of slavery, which is number 13, or the voting age being 18 instead of 21. That is the 26th Amendment, and it was passed in 1971. Not all that long ago when you think about it. What if you wanted to add an amendment to the Constitution? What amendment would you add? I don't know what you might come up with, but there are surely rules in place for how to go about getting it passed. Now, for the all-important sheet that you've been filling out all day. If you have it completely filled out and correct, go see your teacher at the end of this video. They'll have a prize for you. Good job for you, to all of you that got this filled out. As you leave school today, we hope you have a greater understanding of what the Constitution is and does. I think all of you knew you had rights, and many of you certainly exercise your rights on a daily basis. Good! As well you should. But just know, those rights are granted to you by a piece of paper, and that paper is known as the Constitution of the United States of America. Good night, everybody. See you later.